this is Tammy. Welcome back to my channel. This is Woodland Stitching Studio, formerly known as Tammy's Crafty Life. You can see all of my crafty life behind me there. These days, this is a channel that's primarily about cross stitch. I do all kinds of other crafts, but cross stitch is the one that is grabbing me and has been for a while. One thing about me is that I have a bit of an obsessive personality, so when I get stuck on something, I am obsessed with it, and that's why I am with cross stitch these days. So welcome, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. I hope that you like what you'll see and that you'll return. If you're new, especially welcome. This is Flosstube number 50. I have made over 400 videos, but before I started doing floss tubes, they were paper crafting, beading, all other kinds of crafts. And then once I got into cross stitch, that's really all that I wanted to do. So that's how I spend most of my time. I realized that I don't ever talk about myself at all. If you know me personally, you know things about me because I will in person. But so I thought I would tell you a little bit about me. I'm a pretty boring person. I pretty much work and then cross stitch and work some more. I live in Salem, Oregon, which is the capital, with my husband and our dog Savage. He's a very large black shepherd, and on some of my videos you've probably heard him bark. These days I go back and cut that out because his bark can hurt your ears. He has a very, very loud bark. He's a big, beautiful dog, and we love him, but he has issues. He's a guard dog, and he does have some issues. I will put a picture of him at the end of the video. And someday I will try to film a clip where you can see him live. I would really love to film when it's time for him to go for a walk, which hopefully he's not listening right now. This dog runs and jumps and leaps through the air like a deer. He can jump almost as high as our ceiling, which it's so much fun to watch. I really love it. Our last dog was a yellow lab who was a sweetheart, but when we lost her, my husband wanted a guard dog, and so that's what we have now. Savage is he's a lap dog, which he's a 116-pound lap dog, but he is a protector, and we appreciate that. So I work full-time from home. I work for the Department of Transportation in my state. I work in grant administration, which I love and is very interesting. Before I went to work there, I didn't even know it existed, but I do love what I do. I have a part-time finishing business, which I've just started at the end of last year for finishing needlework. And I'm on the board of our homeowners association, and what I do there is the bookkeeping, and I'm the treasurer. So I really have 3 jobs right now, and they keep me pretty busy. And then when I'm not doing those 3 things, I'm cross-stitching because that's what I really love to do. My husband and I both have an adult daughter, each of us, and then my stepdaughter has a daughter, so we have a granddaughter. My daughter has a beautiful little corgi named Luna and a very sweet boyfriend. And I've already said that I am obsessed. I'm obsessed with crafting, and I could very easily be a hermit. I would love to live on top of a mountain in a cabin. As long as UPS could get to me to get me my crafting supplies, that's my happy place. I live in Oregon because I love the rain. I don't like the sun. I tell people I'm part mole because it actually does hurt my eyes, and having enough light to do these videos hurts my eyes too. So, but you have to have light. You guys have to be able to see what I'm doing. So that's it. That's enough about me for this video. Today I have some fully finished objects. I have one finish, some new starts, some whips, and then last video I talked about purging, taking out some of or evaluating all my whips. Do I love them? Will I ever finish them? Do I care if I'll ever finish them? I found, I think, 10 that I pulled out, so that felt good. Because this is Flosstube number 50, I have a giveaway at the end. I want to do giveaways more often, but I do need more views, I think, something. Anyway, I don't do them very often. So that's I think that's it. I'm just going to get into it, and I'm going to start with my 2 fully finished objects. I finished both of these myself because, as I said, I do finishing. This first one you've seen before as a finish, and I finally got the frame I needed and fully finished it. I did not pull out my magazine. It's been months since I finished this, but this is called Stablemates, and it was on the cover of a Stony Creek magazine. And you'd think I would have written that on this card. I didn't write that on there, so I can't tell you. It's at least 3 years old. I might, if I can find it, I'll put it at the bottom of the issue number. And so I framed this myself. And this is Stablemates, and I apologize for the glare. It is in a frame with glass. There's the least amount of glare right there. Oh, you can see the lamps. Sorry, there is no way to not get any glare because I have too many lights. But this frame came from Hobby Lobby, and I think it's pretty good. It has, I wanted a barnwood feel, and that's what that has. So that is Stablemates by Stony Creek. I love Stony Creek patterns. They are always a lot of work, more work than a lot of the other people whose designs I stitch. But that one was so worth it because I love horses. Well, I love all animals, but it's got a horse and a cat. 2 of my favorite things. And I was so glad when I finished it. My next fully finished object, I think you might have seen as a start. Let me see. Was it a start in my last video? What's it called? Oh, maybe not. I don't have my card for it either. This is the Freedom Pin Roll by Plum Street Samplers. This was a market release, and as soon as I saw it, I love patriotic things, and I knew I wanted to stitch it, and that I didn't want to do this with it. They made it, they finished it so you fold it up, and on the back you stitch the numbers 26 and 28, and it's for pins. That is not what I did with it. I did this. I knew I wanted to do this as soon as I saw it. This is a spool I got from Fat Quarter Shop. You get 6 of them, and they have some thread on them. I think they're made for decoration, but they're a perfect size for finishing cross stitch. It's 2 inches from here to here, the spool is, which was a really nice size for this. This is some ribbon from Stampin' Up. They call it seam binding that I put on. And here, I have to do it the right way. This is my Freedom Pin Roll. So it's not a pin roll, it is a spool. It's not perfect. My finishing on this one is not perfect. I always tell myself, measure twice, cut once. I've known that my whole adult life. And I didn't put a seam allowance in here, so it was a little challenging, is the word I will use, for stitching it up. This linen it's a mystery, a 28 count mystery linen. I don't know where it's from or what kind it is. I didn't need a very big piece, but it frays really bad, which also made it a challenge for finishing because I had no seam allowance. So I just roll it up on this spool, and I'll tie it, and I'll put it away with my patriotic stuff. Although it's June, I will leave it out. I haven't gotten out my patriotic stuff yet. I need to do that. I'll leave it out, and then it'll get put away. Those were my 2 fully finished objects. I also have a little video that I will insert here that is some the last finishes I did for Carolyn, Seazook Stitches, so I will put that in here. I'm going to show you now the things that I finished for Carolyn, Seazook Stitches. One of the things she brought me was the 3 things she did out of this magazine, and they were the early bird bouquets. She stitched all 3 of these, and she asked me to finish them just like this, and she brought me the hoops, and I had to paint them. So here they are. This is the green one. This is the pink one. And this is the orange one. And then on the back, they're all the same. I put a chipboard circle on the back that just has white fabric on it. So that's the three, the early bird bouquets, the 3 hoop finishes. And then she gave me this piece that's called Carolyn and Her Cats. I don't know where the pattern came from. And all she told me was she didn't want a pillow. So this is what I did with it. This is Carolyn and Her Cats. I put it on a box from Hobby Lobby. I stained the box using Stampin' Up! Reinkers. There's some fabric here that you can't see very well. I made this cording. And then on the inside of the box, I put this fabric, which I've used on one of her finishes before, I think. So it's a nice little trinket box. And I think this is really cool. And I'm hoping she loves it too. So that's what I did for Carolyn this time. So I hope you enjoyed seeing those finishes I did for Carolyn. She loved them. The hoop finishes ended up just like the magazine that she got the patterns from, and the box, she really loved the box. And it's always fun when she says, I don't know what I want to do with this, and I can find something that I think she'll love. And she did love the box. So those are all of my fully finished items. And now I have one finish. And it is, I'm taking a class at Acorns and Threads at the end of the month. It is by Heartstring Samplery and Lucy Beam. They're doing a class together. The Heartstring Samplery is this cute little basket. This is what made me want to take the class. I can tell how it's finished by looking at the picture, but I always enjoy taking classes. So this, we had to pre-stitch, and I finished this. It came with, it doesn't tell us what the fabric is. I think it's 36 count linen. And it came with charcoal by Weeks Dye Works to stitch it with. Of course I did not do that, because I'm me and I like bright colors. And it came with 4 different patterns for the sides. I only stitched 2 of them, and I used 2 colors to stitch them. This is Evil Queen by BeStitchMe. And this one's called Deep Blue, also by BeStitchMe, which I thought it was interesting because it's really turquoise. It's not deep blue. So I did those 2, and then I did them again opposite colors. And then this is for the handle. So this was a lot of fun to stitch. Even though I really want to do this, I kind of knew this about myself, but it became way more apparent when I was stitching this. I don't like to do have-to stitches where I have to do this for a specific reason, because I want to stitch, as I've said many times, what I want when I want. And that was not what I wanted to be working on, but I wanted to finish it. And then the second one for the class by Lucy Beam, this is called, it's going to be a drum, and it's called, the name's Berry, Strawberry. And this is what it will look like. As you've heard me say many times before, I do not like the prim colorways. So the first change I've made is my house is going to be purple. I haven't gotten very far, and I'm going to look at other changes as I go. But here is where I'm at. I got in, this is 2, oh, and my light just went funky. This is two strands of purple, and then I wanted to get the basket at the top. So I'm working on the basket, and then I'll go down and do the house. But I want to do that basket first, and then I got to figure out colors. I don't know if I'll have this done. I already know how to do a drum. I've taught a class on drums. So I don't need the class part, but it will be fun because it's a 2-day class, and I'm doing it with several of my stitchy friends. One thing I didn't say in the About Me, but I think I've said before, is I was very fortunate to find this group of friends in my town, and we get together and stitch every week, and I love that. It is so fun to do that. Next up, I have 2 new starts. I wasn't going to do new starts, but I love hands-on design, and when Kathy came out with these folk patterns, I bought the spring one just because I love her patterns. But then she showed the summer one, and it's actually got purple in it. And it's called Summer Folk. It is really, really pretty. I love the purple. Those cone flowers at the top that are purple. So I don't know if I'll stitch the rest. We'll see. If I decide not to stitch the spring one, it'll be a giveaway at some point. But I definitely want to stitch this one, and I just got a wild hair and started it the other day. So I will show you that. Okay. Excuse me, I don't know why I've got hiccups. This fabric is what? What? I thought I had a fabric card here. Huh. I'm pretty sure this is a BeStitchMe fabric. Oh, that's weird. I had my little card here with it that says, and it disappeared. It is, I think it calls for 32 count. Yes, it calls for 32 count, so I did stitch it on 32 count because I bought the board, the paddle, and so I wanted to do that. Yeah, what is this called? Huh. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out. And if I can find it, I'll put it down below. I started in the middle, so this is how far I am. This fabric is kind of a brownish fabric. The pattern calls for driftwood linen, fabrics by Stephanie. But I have a whole chest of drawers full of fabric here to my right, and I'm in 3 Fabric of the Month clubs, so I try to use from my stash. I try not to buy fabrics for a specific pattern. My next new start, you'll see that I did, but I try not to. So this is where I am. I started in the middle. This is finished one row, and then this row has butterflies. Is that what they are? No, they're little bees, I think. So I'm working my way down. This was fun to stitch. I love Kathy's stuff. And why? I wrote a card. I don't know why it's not right here. I don't know. Story of my life. My next new stitch is thanks to Laura Stitching by the Shore, and I think I've seen this a couple other places. I keep seeing this, and there's no purple in it, but it's just striking to me. This is Summer Quaker by Leela's Studio. And interestingly about this, I looked at Spring Quaker, which I would think would have beautiful spring colors, and I really don't like the colors in it, so I wasn't going to do it. But when I watched Laura's video last night, she films every Friday, she showed her Spring Quaker, and she changed the color. So it's got, it's really like, feel like it's got like fall colors where all these Quakers are. She changed all those to green, and I really like it. So I'm going to contact her and see if I can get her color conversion. The fabric, the stitch is huge, and I only have this, so I can't tell you. Oh, maybe this. The count is 267 by 216, and on 46 count it finishes at 11.5 by 9 3/8. That's on 46 count. So I'm doing it on 20 count, so it'll be a little bit bigger than that. And I wanted a specific fabric. I looked all around and couldn't find it, so I contacted XG Designs and asked her. I found a color I liked on her. She has an Etsy shop, and asked her if she would do it in 20 count. I think I've showed the fabric before. She has excellent customer service. As soon as she responded to me, like within 20 minutes we were done, and it shipped the same day. She dyed it and shipped it the same day. This is 20 count Ada, and it's Baby's Breath by XG Designs. I have a tiny start just in the upper left hand corner. This this thing that goes, it's on all four. Once you've done one, it's so easy to just keep going. I was crafting at my sister's when I started that, and I wanted to at least get 3 of those little motifs in there. So I think that's it for the new starts. I had 3. Some are Quaker, some are folk. Oh, there's a theme there. And then the name's Berry, Strawberry. So now I'll do my whips. Because I was working on the Eloise's Gathering Basket by Heartstring Samplery, and I wanted to get that done. I don't have as much other stitching as usual, but I did stitch on quite a bit actually on Icelandic Horses by Mill Creek. I love this. Love it, love it, love it. And I really want to finish it. So where I got was, I finished stitching. All this top stuff is done. The horses are done. I'm doing the stitching across the bottom, which is heavy confetti because it's mostly beads. And then all this stuff up here where the spaces are, those are beads too. So I was going great guns on this and decided I needed to finish Eloise's Gathering Basket. So now I can get back to this, although I don't know how far I'm going to get on that drum because I really want to stitch other things. So this is Icelandic Horses. I want to finish it just like it is on the picture because, well, it's perforated paper. You're limited on your finishing options, I feel like. But I do like the frame they used. So I'll probably order the frame. I think it goes really well with it. I'll probably order the frame and then that's how I'll finish it. I worked a little bit on, where's my picture? My African giraffe from, I have to always show this magazine because people always ask. This is Cross Stitch and Beading by Jill Oxton. The magazine is out of print. I got this from the freebie table at Retreat. And that's what made me pick it up. Also because of beading, because I like to do beading in my stuff. This is the picture. And then the magazine shows breaking this up. So I'm doing from here up on this one, and then I will probably also stitch the giraffe. I kind of wish, I said this before, I kind of wish I'd left my fabric intact and that I was doing the whole thing, but I didn't. So I only have enough fabric to stitch the giraffe. That's okay. And I only got a little more stitching on him. I think, since you saw this last, I think I was doing the greens down here. So that's where I am with that. I need to, so I want to do the border. It's got a wide border, but the first leg of the border is Krynic or metallic of some sort. I don't like stitching with metallic, but I need to do that so that I can get the border in too before I have to move my frame down. So that's my, I call it African Giraffe. I don't think in the catalog magazine, I don't think it has a, oh, it's just called Africa. So I'm calling it African Giraffe because I'm only doing the giraffe and the butterfly. The next thing I worked on a little bit was Thanks a Bunch by Bothy Threads. Love this giraffe. Unfortunately, I had to do some frogging. I had done quite a bit of this one of his, are these called horns? I don't know what those are called. And it was all in the wrong spot. So I pulled it out and I've done more stitching. More stitching in here. I haven't gone back up yet and done that. That was very frustrating when I figured out I had to pull out quite a bit. So this is where I'm at with my cute giraffe. So I think I had to pull out, I had a, oh, I do have a, one of the horns already done. I was working on the other one, so I pulled all that out, but then I put in all this. This is very fun. This artist, Hannah Dale. I love her stuff. She does a lot of animals, and they are really cool. So that is that. Oh, that's all the stitching. No more stitching. Thought my pile was bigger than that, but it's not. That's it. So I felt like I stitched forever on the Eloise's gathering basket, and I was getting very frustrated. I'm having skin issues, so my hands are really dry. I was stitching it with silk, and my hand kept unthreading the needle. The other night at our stitching group, I was trying to do one stitch, and the needle came unthreaded 3 times, so I was getting really frustrated. So I'm trying different things to take care of that. So now what do I want to talk about? Flosstubers that I've recently started watching. I've been watching Laura Stitching by the Shore for a while. I like her stuff. I need to go back and watch the video she did in December, because she puts hers, a lot of hers go into scrapbooks, and I think that's a really cool way to do it, so I want to go check that out. She also does swaps where you make trading cards, artist trading cards. I have not participated in that yet. I might, maybe next time. The deadline was this week, and I didn't even get it in my radar, so I didn't do anything about it. So maybe next time. Let's see. I also watched the Huga Stitcher, which is Samantha. She stitches such fun things. She's doing some, this is the year of the dragon, and so she's doing a dragon Sal, and hers is a Teresa Wensler. I have a Teresa Wensler book and another pattern, and one of these days I will pick something and start one, just because I've always wanted to do one of hers. And then when I was watching her the other day, she and 2 of her friends did what they called Mira May. So in May they did Mirabilia. So she had some beautiful things to show. And she talked about her friend Lady Lugana, who I had never seen before, and I went over and watched her. Her most recent video was all about Mirabilia, and it was fun, because I do like Mirabilia. I have Lady of the Flag, Queen of Freedom, Winter White Santa, and one of the reindeer. That's all I have. As far as being started, I'm working on Lady of the Flag, and I do have a small start on Queen of Freedom. Haven't started the other 2. I might start the Winter White Santa this year for a Christmas project. I'm not sure. But I'll list all 3 of those Flosstubers down below, so please go check them out. And I think it was Samantha, the Huga Stitcher. She's in Canada. I think she's in Canada. And I don't know where her friend Lady Lugana is. Laura Stitching by the Shore is in the Northeast somewhere. Samantha talked about, she showed a Mirabilia she had just finished that was a bee. And it was like this big. And it was really cool. It was a little too realistic for me. It was like a honeybee. But it was beautiful. It has a lot of beading. And she said she got it from the Mirabilia website, which I didn't know existed. And that they have a bunch of free patterns, and that it was a free pattern. Didn't know about that. And she said there's also a dragonfly and a butterfly that she wants to do. So I had to go look for the butterfly, and this is what I found. This is free on the Mirabilia website. And this is pretty much the size that it finishes, I think, based on the way Samantha stitched her bee. It has a lot of beads in it. I know the monarch butterfly is the most common, but this color is really, well, I haven't pulled any threads yet, so I'm not sure, but this, if and when I stitch this butterfly, the color will be a lot brighter than that. So that was my first piece of what I'll call haul. It was free, which was very nice. Haul, stash enhancements, delightful deliveries. Delightful deliveries is my favorite. That's from Jane and Julie. I am in 3 Fabric of the Month clubs. I have Atomic Ranch from Garon Stitchery. I have BeStitchMe. That's what this is, right? Yep, she changed her card. And I have Millennial Fabrics. So the Atomic Ranch this month is Mellow Stone, and from them I get 40 count linen. It's almost always neutrals. One of them I got one time was a beautiful colored one, but this is the Mellow Stone. It is more yellow. Well, that's kind of it, but it's very subtle modeling. And for 40 count these days anyway, I like stitching on 40 count, but I also like it to be lighter colors because I need to be able to see it. This from BeStitchMe is called Gray Magic. It's 36 count linen, and I get 1/4 of a yard. And this is, to me, it looks greenish gray. So let's see what it looks like on the camera. Yeah, my lights are weird because I have lights shining everywhere. Greenish gray. That's kind of it, maybe. It's pretty. I don't know what I will put on it, but I love Brandy's fabrics. So that is Gray Magic by BeStitchMe. I'm in the Mixed Neutral Club. I should change to just the colored club because I have way too many neutrals, and I don't stitch on neutrals very often. And then I am in the Millennial Fabrics Fabric of the Month Club, and it looks like I thought I was getting 18 count, but this is 16, so I must be getting 16. This one's called Daffodil. It is really pretty, and it is so not, see if I can fold it and get the right color. It's way brighter than this. Yeah, I can't get the color to show right, but that will be fun to stitch on. I do love bright colors. So that's all my fabrics. I went to Acorns and Threads to drop off finishing. I only bought 2 patterns. 2? Did I only buy 2? The Summer Folk and then the Gather Blessings from Hands On Design. It's the first one of these I've bought. I will probably get the others. I want to investigate this frame. Kathy does say, I think on her website is where you can find out. Oh, it says right there. It's from East Side Frames, and it's called Peddler's Alley. I want to investigate getting this frame because I really like it. There are other ways I could finish these, but I do like the frame. And she suggests having one frame and then switching them out. The other thing is I am in the Lindy Stitches Endangered Species Club. I joined it because of the cat that we got, and then was very pleasantly surprised for the African elephant, African savanna elephant. It's every other month for 6, I think there are 6. So this is number 3 for me. It's the North Atlantic right whale, and it is very cool. There's its name. She always gives you the flosses and the little sticker. So the flosses that come with this, I should have already had them out. It has king mackerel, salt glaze, and salt glaze from Weeks Dye Works, and then it has cinnamon toast from Classic Colorworks. Put them on here. So the salt glaze is really cool looking, and it must be, I don't know if it's the water. I feel like king mackerel is what the whales are, but so those are the flosses. Very fun. Very fun. My last piece of haul is I picked up the new Stony Creek magazine. Usually I order it from Stony Creek, but I was at Acorns and Threads and it was on the counter and I picked it up. I already have flagged several things in it that I want to do. So maybe I'll do a video where I do a walkthrough. Like I've seen people do that for the magazines. I'm not going to do that today, but this has several things in it I want to do. Again, they're Stony Creek, so this one I didn't even flag, but now looking at it on the video, I love that kitten and the flowers. So I don't know, I might have to do that one. And it says Time is precious, waste it wisely. That's a very cool saying. Stony Creek is an investment in time. Very much an investment in time. They're bigger, they're more dense, and they have a lot of back stitching. The last thing that I got was Stitchy Kindness from my friend Robin. She is the generous stitcher on Flosstube, and she is a generous person, and she's purging her stuff and found this and thought of me because I love African animals. And funny thing, oh, I missed. Where did I write that down? I didn't write it down. I almost missed. I want to show you the things I pulled out. I was just reorganizing all of my patterns, and I have at least one other in this series, and I think it might be an elephant. So that was cool. That's the same series. It finishes at 5x7. It's by Jan Lin. So it'll be fun to do both of those. What I was going to share that I didn't write down, that's interesting, was that I went through my patterns and I pulled out some things that I don't know why I started them. I will never finish them. So I unkitted them. I have a huge pile of floss over here that's a big mess I've got to clean up. First one is Lindy Stitch's Hedgehog House. It's really cute, but it doesn't really speak to me. Like, I like hedgehogs, but I don't care if I ever finish this, so I unkitted it. I feel like I bought the actual pattern. This is a copy. I don't know where the actual pattern is. If I ever find it, I'll probably give it away. This was a stitch along by Little Dove Designs that I felt like I needed, and it was a mystery. I do like it, but I'll never finish it. So I unkitted that. I had a tiny little start. This one I also like. I don't know if I would ever finish it. I had a tiny little start. This is Rose Farm by Shannon Christine. The PDFs, I'll have them forever. If I change my mind later, I can still stitch this. I didn't have a big enough start to care, so I took it out. Same thing with this one, it's PDF. I love this, but it's huge and it's full coverage. This is Humility by Artisy. I might pull that out again someday and start it. We'll see. I love all the full coverage ones, and I'm horrible at stitching them. I have a whole bin of full coverage and they don't get pulled out. I think because they're a little bit intimidating. This is by Modern Folk Embroidery. It's called Ruskin's Penguins. I had chosen a fabric that I hated stitching on, and I didn't get very far, so this one also is a PDF, and if I change my mind, I can start it someday. This one, I don't know why I even bought it. Probably because of the colors. It's called Happy Mood Point Sampler. So it's pretty colors. It's a PDF. If I change my mind, I can stitch it. But there are so many other things I want to stitch right now that I don't really, I wanted to evaluate with keeping in mind, do I care if I finish it? Will I ever pull it out to work on it? If I won't, why is it taking up space? Because they do take up space, and I have a lot of whips that take up a lot of space. Okay, that's all of my stitchy stuff. Now, to get to the giveaway, I have a couple of giveaways. This one is funny. When Carolyn Seazook Stitches did her video showing all the things she bought from Market, she showed this pattern, and I fell in love with it. And she said, if any of these things that I have purchased you'd like to do a stitch along, let me know. Well, I had to go buy this pattern immediately and told her I want to do a stitch along, and she's like, okay. And I've talked to her about it a couple of times, and she says, yeah, okay. And then when I saw her to give her stuff, she's like, I really don't want to stitch this, so I'm going to give it to you. So this is from Carolyn to do a giveaway. So I still do want to stitch this. I would love to do a stitch along. If you would like to stitch this, use the keyword I didn't put keywords on my thing. Keyword songbird, one word, songbird. And I'll pull a name for that. It would be fun if you stitched it with me. If you just want to add it to your stash and you're not ready to stitch it. When I bought the pattern, I bought all the floss, so all I have to do is pick fabric. So that's number 1. Number 2, I have stitched this, and you've seen it. I finished it just like the pattern. This is Chubby Bee by Jeanette Douglas. It's put away somewhere now, but except for this fabric, mine is finished exactly like her, but I used different colors. I stitched it. My stitching is much brighter than what's on here. And if I knew exactly where it was, I'd grab it, but I don't. So for this, the keyword is chubby. If you would like to have that pattern. And then the last thing I have to show is, and I'm going to give this away, and it's a weird giveaway, so we'll see if anybody's interested or not. The pattern is by Stitch World Cross Stitch. I've had it forever. It's one of my oldest whips, and it's called Cabernet and Red Grapes. My kitchen is tiny, and the little bit of decorating I have is grapes, because I love grapes, because they're purple, I think is why. But I don't have any place to put this, and so I was stitching this one. And I have, like, where'd my board go? There's not a lot left to stitch on this. This is how far I got, upside down. But if I show it to you right side up, this is how far I got. There's stitching left to do, like all of this up here is full coverage, and the border needs to be finished. The bottom is all done. So it's just from here up. And it will take quite a bit of stitching. There's a lot, because it's full coverage in that part. There's quite a bit up there. And I sit here and look at it and think it's beautiful. But I don't pull it out. I haven't worked on it for years. So I'm going to give this away. So you get, and I'm going to give you advance warning. This is my oldest whip. Oh, I can't show you the pattern. But yeah. It's falling apart. The inside is falling out. It is it's a color pattern, and it's shiny. So it's interesting. So the pattern and the whip and all of the floss. So I'm going to give this away. So you can finish it. Much of this floss, the colors have already been done, but I didn't take the time to go through and figure out which colors were finished and which weren't. These, when I pulled this out and started cross-stitching again a couple years ago, these were all bobbinated, so they have a kinky issue. But this is going to be a giveaway. I don't know if it's too weird of a giveaway. If anybody's interested, the keyword for that will be grapes. Where'd that floss come from? I have a pile of floss sitting here. That's all that's left on the table. I don't know what it goes with, which is not good. Yeah, what does it go with? Oh, it might be my summer folk floss. I don't know. So that's it for today. If you've made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for watching. I was going to add a question in there, and I didn't write one down. So I don't have a question for today. I should have thought about that, because it promotes interaction when you ask a question, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. Here's one. Who is your favorite floss tuber? I'm curious, and what other floss tubers do you watch? I am always looking for new ones for me to watch that show the kinds of things that I enjoy looking at. My last video I gave a pretty long list of ones that I watch. I have now added 3 to that list that I told you today, and I will link them below. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy stitching and have a wonderful day.